Welcome to this week's End of Days Update, coming to you from Tulsa, Oklahoma. What a time to be alive, right before the coming of the Lord. So we want to say to everyone, Merry Christmas. What an amazing time of the year. Even sinners celebrate this time when Jesus was born. Think about it. Our King, our God, took on flesh and became a child and a baby, and then grew up and died and was beaten for us. Man, we should take advantage of every one of the benefits we have in Christ because of how radical our redemption is. So Merry Christmas. We won't be with you the week right before Christmas and the week right after Christmas. So we want to say now, have a great time with your family. Have a wonderful season with them. And boy, if you can't celebrate around Jesus, something's wrong. So have a great time celebrating his birthday. We always sing Happy Birthday, Jesus. So for the week before Christmas and the week after, we won't have an EDU. So, and I don't do this very often, but I wanted to thank our partners. Man, we have the best partners on the planet. You guys are so faithful, so amazing, and we never really talk about it, but think about partnering with us. Help us send the message overseas. Help it to send it everywhere we can. We have a lot of things we want to do, and it just takes finances. We want to do some documentaries, a bunch of other stuff. So thank you for sowing. We sure so appreciate it. And we all used to say, if you can't go, send Joe. So help send us. And if you can, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel too. It helps us get the message out a little bit more. So we're living when literally so much of the Bible is coming to pass. I mean, think about it. The book of Daniel, the book of Revelation show us exactly what the world's going to look like right before the Lord comes back. So look at what detail the Lord went into to make this so that it'd be right in front of our faces and it'd be obvious to us. So the things we'll get into this week are really, really bold about showing us how close we are to the tribulation. And with that being said, we know how close we are to the coming of the Lord for the rapture. I mean, the rapture is signless. Second coming has tons of signs. There's one thing I think of, and I can't believe I'm going to try to do this at the first part of the End of Days Update, but you know, when it shows you what's getting ready to happen, literally how we can't be here during that 7-year period. Remember, Gabriel appeared to Daniel and told him specific things about what would happen. And then Israel had been in captivity for 70 years. And Daniel goes, I got to find out why we're in captivity. So he found out that the Lord told them not to plant on the 7th year. Well, they ended up planting on the 7th year 490 years. So they owed the land back 70 years. So that's why they went into captivity. And then Gabriel told Daniel, okay, you guys missed it for 490. God's giving you guys another 490. How cool. That's so sweet of him. What's it for? It's for the Jews and for Jerusalem to make an end of sins. All these things that would happen at the second coming. So here Gabriel's telling Daniel this. And then he said, okay, you guys got another 490. But you know what? He said, there's going to be a proclamation to rebuild Jerusalem, the tying of Jerusalem to the coming of the Messiah. He said he's going to come after 483 years. Well, God told him they had 490. So Jesus came after 483. God gave them 490. There's a 7-year period that God owes the Jews. That's called the tribulation period. So the church will be taken off, and the earth will enter into that 7 years of Old Testament time. And you see it immediately in Ezekiel 38, where God physically intervenes for Israel. Doesn't do that right now because we're during the church age. I mean, the Holocaust wasn't Israel's fault. It wasn't Israel's fault. It was the church's fault. Because we should have prayed. I know that freaks people out, but that's the way it is. So you see how specifically clear Gabriel was with Daniel, so that the very year that Jesus would come, it came exactly to the year, all tied to the rebuilding of Jerusalem. So we can look at things right now that are so pointed and so clear that it just yells at us and screams at us that Jesus is about to come back. So the reason why we get into this is because people go, why would you want to talk about the coming of the Lord? Well, if you see what the finish line looks like, you accelerate. In football, you have an end zone. Why is the end zone so big? Why is it painted so big? So you can tell you want to get the ball in the end zone. So everything is about pushing us to run faster and to do more in a short period of time. And when we get into all this, the number one thing about all these signs and all the stuff that points to his return is he loves you. He wants to bless you. He's not mad at you. He's not ticked off at you. He loves you and wants to help you and bless you. So I'm amazed at how much condemnation keeps coming on the church. Lucifer doesn't have to do it. The church does it on their own. So let's pick up with what's happened this last week. There's so much that's happened. We'll see how far we can get into it, because you almost could do 3 or 4 EDUs on just what's happened the last couple of days. But you had 15 killed in the Bondi Beach Sydney shooting. What a horrific event that was. I mean, you have it to be like, they called that there October 7th, our 9/11, it was their 9/11. they were celebrating Hanukkah there on the beach. I mean, how crazy is that you don't even seem safe at a beach to go have a celebration of Hanukkah? But Lucifer's trying to do everything he can to annihilate all the Jews that he can, because he can't get the Father, he can't get the Son, so he wants to go after those that are close to his heart. So Lucifer can't do it, though. He's just about to be toast. There's been a radical increase in global conspiracies against the Jewish people. I'm kind of intrigued to see how in your face it would be, and how without any remorse at all, just boom, we hate the Jews, want to kill the Jews. You saw it during the Holocaust, but now it's creeping up again even stronger. I mean, you had in New York City, you had reports of a subway assault during Hanukkah. So you're on a subway and you're not safe either, too. That's crazy. So I'm saying all this, so don't be afraid. Have zero fear. God said, I'm telling you this stuff so you'd be happy, hopeful, and you wouldn't be troubled, and you wouldn't be deceived. So he wants us to know this, and you'd be comforted. So everything about end times is supposed to bring you comfort, bring you joy, and make you excited. So as dark as these signs are right now, it just excites me and tells me, man, I'm about to see the King. You had, just for instance, even after that, you have the Brown University shooting. You had 2 killed, and you had 9 injured. I mean, it's just like the days of Noah. There'd be corruption and violence, to the point Rob Reiner and his wife were killed by their son. They slit their throats. I mean, that's just so hideous to think that there can be that much yielding to darkness. You had MIT's professor was shot this morning in his home. He's a Portuguese-born nuclear scientist. For America, I mean, here, guess who they say is involved in it? They haven't come out totally with this, so I may be a little bit ahead of myself on this one, but Iran looks like they're responsible for it. So Iran, killing one of our nuclear scientists at MIT in Brookline, Mass., a suburb of Boston. Just tells you a lot of stuff's getting ready to happen. Man, oh man. You had a planned New Year's Eve bombing attack in Los Angeles. It was by an extremist group called the Turtle Island Liberation Front. It was stopped by the FBI right before it happened. No one was hurt. Thank God for our government and our military and our local enforcements. God bless them. Turkey's building up troops to bring into northern Syria. They're trying to do it secretly. It's kind of obvious when Turkey starts massing groups down on northern Syria. It wasn't just for the Kurds, just because they want to get as close as they can to Israel. I mean, when they're wanting to put a base on Israel's northern border, well, you know what it is. You have missiles coming down from Iran right into Turkey, right down into Syria, and next door is Israel. When you're in Israel, you're in the old city, you can look down the hill, and Damascus is right down the hill. The Bible says that Damascus will be removed as a city. It'll be made a wasteland. In one moment in time, Damascus will not be here. That's Isaiah 17:1. So you see all those missiles being moved down to Syria. What happens if they have a mistake happen in Damascus? They don't know how to handle them. You have Syria having Damascus removed from being a city. Crazy. So with Turkey building up that enormous amount of troops, they weren't invited to the Gaza peacekeeping meeting in Qatar. I mean, when I first started the EDU, the Lord told me to pay attention to Turkey, and I thought, why Turkey? Well, their doctrine it comes out of Istanbul. If they'll kill every Jewish person, every Christian person, their Messiah can come in. So it's based on, if they kill us, their Messiah comes, and guess what? They say Jesus will come back with him and say that he's not the Son of God. Doesn't that sound just like Satan? Always trying to make people downplay that Jesus is the Son of God. He is the Son of God, died, raised from the dead, coming back so soon. That's why we get into all this. What an exciting time. We get to see the King so soon. Wow. Netanyahu said it'll beat Hamas. And the attacks on the Jews worldwide are growing. So in the midst of them growing, you still have no ceasefire happening with Gaza. You have Hamas completely arming and rearming themselves. I think everybody was so mad at the members of the Knesset, so we got to wipe Hamas out. Everybody said, no, don't wipe them out. Well, look what they're doing. They're coming to do what they basically were doing the whole time. So you're seeing that spirit push people to do stuff that they would never do. I remember in the October 7th destruction, they were given pills so that they didn't feel remorse. And when they came into the places, I walked in one of them, they shot the machine gun fire all up into the ceiling. They didn't just shoot right at them, they just went crazy because of those pills they were on. So, well, you have Tehran, you have Iran threatening an Israeli city in the north, Nahariya. There was a banner displaying Hezbollah's threat mounted in Tehran's Palestinian square. I mean, you have a country showing a banner with a city name saying we're gonna attack your city. I mean, that's in the old days that'd be called a crime. But look at our day now that a whole nation called Iran could visibly and audibly threaten a town in Israel. I think they're barking up the wrong tree because with Israel, they don't mess around. So what a time, though, that we would physically see it with our eyes, Israel's strength come through, that they won't be scared by all these people doing this weird stuff. You had the Lebanese foreign minister criticizing Iran for backing Hezbollah. I'm intrigued that you'd have Hezbollah trying to be backed by anybody. It's just bizarro. The southern Lebanon should be cleared of unauthorized weapons to reduce conflict and instability. They want to get as much of the minefields as they can to stop the mines from there so that none of the Israelis get hurt. You have Lazinski hail NATO-style U.S. Security guarantees as real progress in the peace deal. It's weird how they get right up to the edge. There was a saying that used to say that the Palestinians never miss a opportunity to miss an opportunity. So every time God does something to help them, they make a stupid decision. It's against the Lord. So they say the protection is going to come from the Ukraine is a big and positive step toward the ending of the conflict. So with that, you had Japan and the U.S. participating in war exercises after threats from China. I like that Japan jumps right in with the U.S. and says, okay, China, you can't do what you want to do. It's intriguing to see how God's held them back from doing what they wanted to do. So it's great to have a time where the Lord's involved. You have World War III tensions built in Europe. This one really got me. Germany is in the process of massive rearming. That was not just in the Jerusalem Post. That was in Haaretz. That was in several different news outlets. They signed a deal with Israel for $3.1 billion for their Arrow system. And so that they would have a defense system like that. Germany provided for Israel, they call it Noah's Ark. It's a tent that you can build in every single home in Israel. It's a radioactive tent. So if a nuclear bomb was to go off Israel, every home has a place to go and seek shelter. Germany did that to bless Israel. Pretty cool that over the years, Germany's done so many things to bless Israel and people didn't even know about it. You had some natural disasters. I don't get into that a lot, but you had dolphins spotted in Copenhagen for the first time. They're way away from their natural habitat. That's weird. You had heavy snow, strong winds in Japan. That's wild. 35,000 homes were affected. You had 21 killed in flash floods in Morocco. It's just a time where you go, okay, what is up next? So you don't just focus on the negative, but you see God said it would be like this. So if we see it like that, that's your check mark. I'm awake and alive right before the coming of God to the planet. And with that, you have all the signs in the Scripture. Signs aren't there to scare you. They're there to give you information so that you know how close you are to your destination. You got first Israel brought back as a nation. Next, Jerusalem won back. You have the Hebrew language restored. Why? Because God said just before the Messiah comes, He'll return unto them a pure language. Eliyahu ben Yehuda said, you know what, we used to speak Hebrew here, we don't anymore. 120 years ago, nobody spoke Hebrew. Now they all speak Hebrew because God said, I'll do this. Then you have the Ethiopian Jews brought back. 18,000 airlifted in one day. Why? Because God said, I'll bring them out. 1992, Israel sent C-130s right down into Ethiopia. 18,000 airlifted. The planes that had a manifest said 180 people on the plane. They landed, had 183 on that plane, 187 on that plane. 3 babies were born on that one, 7 babies were born on the other one. They said, well, what do you put on their passport? What nation are they from? Just put airborne. You have no idea where they're from. So you have the fruitfulness of Israel. I mean, think about it. Mark Twain was there in the late 1800s. He said the land is so desolate it won't support life. Yet Israel produces the fruit for 90% of Europe. Think about that. A place that was so barren that next they're producing all the fruit for all of Europe. So these things preach to us. So then you have foxes on the Temple Mount, fish in the Dead Sea. You have the Dead Sea turning blood red where Sodom and Gomorrah was. That's crazy. What day did it happen on? The Day of Atonement. Pretty amazing. You have the ritual baths around the Temple Mount fill up with water, first time in 2,000 years. You have predatory birds. The Israeli ornithologist was on the Animal Planet channel. She said it's the largest gathering of predatory birds ever in history. 172 different species are there. Why? After the Ezekiel 38 war, God calls on the fowl of the air to clean the land up. Right after the Battle of Armageddon, He calls on the fowl of the air to clean the land up. So you got the cleanup crew in Israel right now. I mean, so tangibly, you physically see God getting ready for Jesus to come. You have the Temple Mount Institute. They have everything ready. They had the red heifer. They said it was a trial run. Ended up being not a trial run. Said it was the real deal. I mean, there's only been 10 of those, and that happened a few weeks ago. And the red heifer stuff was so amazing how God got them a cow from Texas. They sent them over as service animals. I guess walking through the airport, you got a cow on a leash taking you to your gate, I guess. So, I mean, God knows how to get it all done. So all these signs, sign after sign after sign after sign, just amazing, tangible, physical things you can see to go, hey, Jesus is about to come back. After that, you got signals. What are the signals? Signs are a big deal, but once you get into town, you don't need signs. You got signals, traffic signals. What are the big signals? You had blood red moons on Passover and Tabernacles. Wow, 4 in a row. NASA calls it a tetrad. When's the last time you had 4 in a row as a tetrad on Passover and Tabernacles? Because what he's doing is he's saying, I died for you, I'm coming back. I died for you, coming back. When's the last time you had that 4 in a row? NASA calls it a tetrad, 4 in a row. 1967 when Jerusalem was won back. 1948 when Israel was made a nation. 1492 at the Edict of Expulsion when the Jews were kicked out of Spain. So you have tangible, physical things happening like that when Israel was restored as a nation and when Jerusalem was won back. Wow, signals. Then after that, you got Bethlehem Star. People don't get into this a lot, but man, you got, when Jesus was born, you had Jupiter, Regulus, and Venus come together. And pretty cool because Jupiter's a king planet, Regulus, Regal's a king planet, Venus, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. You had all 3 of them come together, called the Bethlehem Star. And you had Regal doing retrograde motion. It looks like it's going backwards, but it's doing retrograde motion. What's it doing? It's being crowned because it's representing a king. Why? Because the king was born. What was the constellation? Leo. He's the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the second coming. What's the constellation when he was born? It was the born of a virgin. Wow. So think about all the signs that show us how close we are, all the signals that show us how close we are. What does that do to us? We help our local church, help our local pastor. We get involved. We don't fit church into our life. It is our life. I know I say that every time, but this is time to hustle. This is not the time to chill. This is time to reassess what you're called to do and do everything you can to serve. Let's serve and let's just get as many people saved as we possibly can. Let's recognize the hour being so clear and so short that it makes us move faster. There should be an acceleration thought pattern in the church, so let's do it. Let's get ready to honor him. Now, we're about to see him face to face. What can we do to honor him any more than being soul winners and being bold to get the gospel out in this hour? Man, the Lord will help you. He'll strengthen you. He'll bless you. He'll get you excited about Christmas being next week. You think all about the next couple of weeks. The King was born right here in the earth in Bethlehem. For unto us a child is born. The government will be upon his shoulders. Wow. And of his reign there'll be no end. Wow. Man. The angel said, glory to God in the highest. Peace on earth and goodwill toward man. Man, how cool the proclamation that God sent his own son to die for us. So enjoy your time with your family. We want to thank you again, partners, for supporting us so well. Thank you. We're the best partners on the whole planet. God bless you. We'll see you next year. Have a great Christmas and great time with your family. See you in a couple of weeks.
Thanks for joining us today at the End of Days Update. If you'd like to be notified every time there's a new post, just go to the edu at josephmorris.com and subscribe to receive email alerts. If these posts and updates have been a blessing to you, please consider making a one-time donation to help get the message out, or even becoming a monthly partner with Joseph Morris Ministries. Thanks again for tuning in to the EDU, and we'll see you next week.